Welcome to the Market Smarter, Sell More podcast. I'm your host, Andy Barnett, joined as always by the man who puts Hayes in Hayes Group as an extra long one, Adam Hayes.
What's up, folks?
What's new?
Hey, lots.
Lots? Great.
Yeah, we're filming lots of these episodes in one take, aren't we?
We are. That's right.
Live.
That's right. Live. It was live. At one point, it was live.
It was live.
Yeah,
Like
that's
today.
right. Okay, I got a question here for you. What are we thinking of that Vegas Sphere?
Oh, that thing's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, wow, what an experience. I mean, because you have the 3D experience of what's happening with the music coming at you, and then you have like this fourth dimensional experience going on all around you. You're surrounded with, I mean, it's completely enveloping. Right?
Totally immersing. You know?
It's a total immersion into the experience.
Do you feel like it's taking away from, as a musician, do you feel like it's taking away from the musicianship of it, or it's a different kind of entertainment? It's not I wouldn't call it a concert anymore.
I think it's different. I mean, you almost could do away with the band, honestly, because you can't really see the band. At least the photos that I've seen in the videos I've seen,
they look very small.
It's really hard to see because they're way down at the very bottom. So it's not really as much about their performance as it is about the live experience of the event.
Right, which is bananas to think about, because you've got people like Adele and U2 playing at this place, and you're like, it's not really about U2. It's like, that's a crazy
I mean, they
thing
can have somebody come out that looks like Adele and lip sync it and have the same effect, right?
Right, absolutely. That's what I was thinking too, because, you know, and which leads me kind of into my next question is, where does the technology go from here? Like, you know, this isn't necessarily our not ask the expert segment, just spitballing off the top of my head here. Where does the technology go from here? Is it become an entire 360 immersive experience? Are we wearing goggles? You know, I watched a podcast recently and the guys were talking about, do we all, in 50 years, are we all just having some sort of neural implant where, I guess today I want my environment to look like medieval times. Meanwhile, you're like, I like ancient Greece.
Yeah.
You know, we're almost choosing the immersive environment that we're in. I mean, is that, you see technology heading in a direction where everybody's almost custom selecting
or custom creating their own environment. Yeah. Based on what they want.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's certainly possible. I don't know that they've studied, you know, the adaptation ability of humans to be able to live in an environment like that, right? Because our senses right now, I mean, it's kind of sensory overload, right? Because it's a false environment. It's not naturally generated. And how do we as humans adapt to that new technology and that new environment? And really, you're looking in most ways at a 2D screen, when with our real eyes, we're looking at 3D. So we have a sense of depth of perception. And I don't know what the impact of that's going to be on us as humans and our ability to process all those things that are coming at us.
Right. Well, I don't think anybody does. You know what I mean? Right now, it's so early. You know, we're the last of the generation to really remember what it was like
without a phone.
Yeah. We grew up with that. And we've seen the entire evolution in 20 years.
I mean, what was the first iPhone? Was 2006 or 2007, somewhere in there.
I don't use an iPhone.
Okay, so that was the start of the smartphone. Even though your phone's not smart, it breaks.
It folds. Yeah,
it folds.
That's right.
It folds and breaks.
That's right. That too. Yeah, that too. Android. I'm going down with the ship, baby.
So I don't know. I really don't know. I can't say, but you know, I mein, the evolution is probably pointing in the direction where that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, Hollywood usually is ahead of trends with, you know, what they're putting in shows and series. And, you know, if you think of Westworld and Black Mirror and series like that. Right. And so, I mean, a lot of that probably is foreshadowing what the plans are and what's really going to transpire and happen. And I don't think it's a one-to-one relationship, but I do think that, you know, they're onto something with both those series, you know, and saying, look, here's the opportunity and here's the risk of, you know, this additional tech that is definitely heading our way. Right.
Well, you know, it will go towards where there's where the consumer wants it to, you know,
for sure.
Whatever they want more of, they're going to feed us.
People voted the voting booth, but even more powerful is they vote with their money.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that was a great not ask the expert segment.
Right? Yeah.
Because neither one of us were experts on that. You know, it's it was more speculative, which is okay.
It's very speculative.
It's super fun to talk about all the time. If you want to talk to me about technology or aliens too, that's another one.
But I think,
aliens.
the interesting thing is it's really forced change on us at a much more rapid pace, right? Before the evolution of tech and the re-evolution, it seems like the evolution is happening faster and faster, and the ability to change and adapt with it may not be as fast as the technology now can progress.
Yeah, right.
Us as humans may not be able to adapt that fast.
Yeah.
So does the pace continue to unfold at the rate that technology can change, or does it only unfold at the level that we're able to adapt it?
Yeah. Okay. That's a good point. Because I remember when those 3D movies were the whole big thing. I couldn't see them very good.
Oh, it gave me horrible vertigo.
Yeah, something with my eyes. They're like, if I have like an astigmatism, I don't know if that played into it, but something where I was like, this doesn't look 3D. It just looks all like
confusing.
Yes, psychedelic. Like I'm not enjoying this at all.
No,
it made me sick.
For me personally, I didn't like the 3D experience in the theaters. I had vertigo. I literally had to close my eyes.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't just us, because when's the last time you saw somebody saying, "Hey, watch our movie. It's in 3D."
Did you go to IMAX and watch that in 3D? Yeah. Absolutely not.
Neither did anybody else. That's why it's gone.
Right.
All right. We will be back after this with our guest. Caillou and Associates PC is a boutique family law firm located in downtown Indianapolis, Indiana. With a focus on family law, child custody, and appellate practice, Caillou and Associates strives to determine the client's precise legal objectives, then develops a plan to execute to address the matter. Then the firm deploys all reasonable legal means to achieve the client's desired outcomes and goals. Their statement says it all. Caillou and Associates, problems solved. Welcome back to the Market Smarter, Sell More podcast. We're now joined by our guests, Melissa St. John, the owner of Relocation Strategies. Melissa, thanks for joining us.
Yay, I'm excited to be here.
Awesome to have you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Oh my goodness. So Relocation Strategies is a 36-year-old company. I started when I was 5. I'm kidding.
I was getting ready to say it before you were born.
I ended up, the biggest misnomer is everybody thinks I started this, and I'm like, do the math. I did not. But I bought the company from my boss. Oh, okay. So I always like to have people keep their mind and eyes open, because like these young people, you never know. You could buy out the owner. They could flip a coin and say, hey, I want to move to $10 and you want to buy me out. So that's what happened.
Right.
My boss just said, hey, you want to buy the company. So I bought it 16 years ago, 100% owner. We're woman owned.
Awesome.
And it's the best thing I ever did.
That's awesome. So what do you do?
So Relocation Strategies was 20 years old when I purchased it. And basically they were known around town for being the premier move management company. So any company that was moving, they managed the move. They were the owner's rep. So the David who founded it, basically, he worked for a moving company and he saw all these moves that were just a disaster. So I actually just was up at SMC this morning up in Noblesville. We moved them in 15 years ago, and they were about 400,000 or 500,000 square feet. Now they're 2.6 million.
Oh, wow.
So it's fun to see companies grow.
Sure.
So, but with the evolution of me coming on board, I said, I know all these other things I'm going to bring to this company. And so interior design, space planning, furniture, and then yes, move management. So we have been known for move management for many years, but I have evolved the company over 16 years. And we really want to be the source to help companies go from A to Z and everything in between.
Sure.
So just like even your office, it's just the transformation, and what the word I'm using now is we're reimagining offices.
Sure. Yeah.
And so remember, I told you earlier about you have commercial and then you have residential. And so what's in between? It's called resimercial. And so that's why people are wanting sofas and loungy chairs and plants and everything that makes you feel at home. And that's what's really driving people to come back to the office.
Sure. Yeah. That's what I was going to ask, how you've evolved it since you started. Have you seen, is the relocation still the main part of the business, or have you seen maybe the design take over or something else?
Well, that's a great question. I would say it's about 50-50. So we have our kind of base clients that we do move management for all the time. We just finished 12 buildings for Purdue. But then, for instance, I might get a new client. So we just finished Hamilton County Tourism. They were their space was 16 years old and it was very dated. And so I got a referral from one of their board members, and I went in and looked at it and I said, oh, we could totally just transform this.
Yeah.
So we went from A to Z. So, we did everything.
Did it all. Yeah.
We helped them with the space planning, figuring out how they work. And they are going to be a hybrid workspace. And that's a whole nother challenge we're facing right now is some places are hybrid, some aren't. And so I have to share with you that the end result for Hamilton County Tourism is so amazing because we ended up dividing their space into 3 zones. So their top floor is a social hub, meaning that's where everybody goes to like hang out and have coffee or pizza
really
parties.
Cool.
And there's sofas and there's booths and there's little small rooms. And then the middle floor is kind of the working floor.
Yeah.
Because the number one problem in office space is noise.
Yeah.
Everybody's on Teams calls. Everybody's talking at their desks. There's not enough small conference rooms. There's not enough places to go to make a phone call. So when they lowered all the cube walls, it's so noisy. So a lot of people are just having a lot of anxiety because of the noise.
Yeah.
So then the lower level, their 3rd zone, is their conference hub, and it has all their conference rooms and it has amenities to have lunches, and board meetings. And we have this big folding glass wall that can, back into the corner, and they can open the whole thing up and have events. And so the whole thing is just wonderful. Whereas before it did not work for them at all.
Yeah.
So they're very happy.
Well, I imagine. It sounds like you just completely.
That sounds like an awesome space.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's beautiful. I mean, not only is it functional, but it's beautiful. And I have to say right now, the number one problem, obviously I just said was noise, but businesses are struggling so much with attraction and retention. So if you can have somebody walk into a space and you want to interview somebody new, people are making 11 impressions in 7 seconds.
Yeah.
So you have a new hire come in or a potential person and they look at your space and like, oh, ugh.
Yeah.
They just want to walk out.
Right.
Whereas if they go into a space that's amazing.
Yeah. They haven't even talked to you yet. And I want to work here.
I want to be there. So I don't think employers understand how important the space is now more than ever.
Yeah. That makes total sense. Now, I had another question, but I first wanted to say that I think she got the memo. She's perfectly color coordinated with the headphones and her outfit together.
I am.
Did somebody give her a heads up on what our color scheme was here? Because
Rachel.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Rachel,
your sister.
she hadn't been here yet.
She gave pictures.
That's right.
She sent
She
pictures.
must have.
Okay.
Did I interrupt you?
No, go ahead.
What do you know now that you wish you had known when you kind of got started with this?
Oh my goodness. What do I wish I knew? Well, I will say that it's just been an evolution. And so I got mentored by somebody for 3 years where I met with them once a month. And it was really interesting. And again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but when the whole thing was over, he literally said, like, we were at this mentor protege thing, and he was like, I didn't teach her anything. And I was like, what do you mean you didn't teach me anything? He goes, because you came in and had all these ideas that you knew you wanted to do. He goes, the thing that I did for you is that I listened and I nodded my head.
Well,
and I'm not saying I know it all. I'm not saying
that,
but I'm just saying how important it is to have somebody to be a sounding board.
Absolutely.
And I did that literally within probably a month after buying the company, after David started phasing out. I'm like, I got to have somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Sure.
So would I have done anything differently? Is there anything I wish I would have known? I wish I would have known it got easier to fire people, because that's the thing I hate the most.
Yeah.
I remember my first fire, and my boyfriend, which is my husband now, he had to take me to the emergency room because my blood pressure was so high. Because I'd never fired anyone.
Yeah.
It's hard.
That's right. It's awful.
You're human.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I wish I would have known then, in the hospital, you know, I was fine. They just put me on some
Yeah.
blood pressure and medicine because I was like, I can't do this. And I remember I had to hire somebody to come in and help me because, again, I was the owner
Sure.
and I'd never done it.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't know.
Well, I think that's a smart recognition of a good owner too, is realizes something, you know, maybe this is an area I could use some support in. You know, they always say great leader surrounds themselves
Yes.
with people that are better than them at certain aspects. So,
But yeah, I didn't have any HR experience. I didn't know. I mean, I was just winging it.
you just learned it all at once.
I know.
So how do people come to understand that they should utilize your services?
So I am on boards. I'm out and about. I go to a lot of events, and I think it's just a matter of me being available and talking to people and developing the brand that I have. So again, being the owner for 16 years, I would say if you ask anyone around town, they think of me as the advocate for the owner. So for instance, if they're going through any type of transition, they want somebody to be their advocate. So there's owners reps that like will sell you a building, but then I want people to think of me as like, I'm the inside of the building. So anything on the inside, we can help be the advocate. We can help get bids for furniture. We can help get bids for the move. We can get bids for construction. We can help with the design, but how do they know about us? I guess it's really just word of mouth because I'm a small business. I don't spend millions of dollars on ads. And I mean, how do you hire a doctor? It's word of mouth.
Yeah.
You know, if they fixed you, then you tell people. So I love referrals. I love referrals.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So think about the challenge that somebody has when they don't utilize you. So with you, it's easy. Without you, it's complicated and difficult, you know, for moving. So talk about that and talk about, okay, if you decide to do this on your own, here's some of the things that you're probably going to run up against, and here's how we help you.
I would say that one of the best meetings I've ever had was when I walked into a law firm downtown. And again, it was a referral. Somebody said, she just did another law firm downtown. Here, go to this law firm. And I said to him, I said, I don't sell anything. I'm your advocate to make sure that you get the best prices, the best service, the best products. But really, this is what clinched the deal. As I said, your project's going to take about 1,600 hours to do. And who's going to do that?
Who has free time?
And he looked around the room and, you know, he's looking at his paralegal and he's, you know, and the paralegal makes more than I do. And he's like, can you start tomorrow? Because it was a gut and remodel of 8 floors where we had to get everybody out, get them back in. We had to inventory their furniture, take pictures of it to figure out what could be reused, what needs to be donated, what you need to blend with new, the timing of the construction, the movers. I mean, just all the logistics. And the reason I can quote that 1,600 hours is because I have data from all the projects I've done, and all I'm selling is time, gentlemen. So if I know that square footage, we were going to move everybody twice and everything that was involved, I knew how many hours I was going to take. It's going to take me 1,600. It might take his paralegal 2,000.
Yeah, right.
And then is she even going to do it right?
Yeah.
And then what's the likelihood of her quitting? I quit. I'm not doing this.
I didn't sign up to do that.
I'm going to do this and my job.
Right.
You know, how many people want to sign up and be like, I'll take care of that whole project. It's going to be 9 months.
Exactly.
Right.
And I'll do my regular responsibilities.
And it'll have nothing to do with our normal day to day. So
I guess they don't know what they don't know.
Sure.
And I know there was someone actually, my sister recommended me to one of her clients. She showed up at one of her projects, and the client, who I will not mention, there was just furniture and cubicles just kind of like in a big pile everywhere. And they'd hired somebody to come in and rearrange it all. But then they just left all the leftovers in this big pile. And they're like, well, we didn't quote to take the pile away or to organize it or put it in storage. They just left it all there. And so she calls me and she goes, they're really mad. And they actually think that the stuff in that pile could have been used, but they bought all this new stuff. And I said, well, I'm the advocate to make sure that they can reuse every part, piece, and bracket and not buy new. And so that's the difference. You know, if you're buying it, Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes.
It makes total sense.
I'm not selling furniture. I'm not getting a commission.
Right. And that's
on
what you had
furniture.
mentioned to me,
Yeah.
earlier, that you will just help in the process of making sure the right stuff for the right.
It's like a concierge service,
Yeah.
white glove.
Advocate,
Yeah.
owner's rep, just
Uh-huh.
making sure that, I mean, at the end of the day, if I save money and time, they're going to tell people, and then I'll do the same thing for someone else.
Yeah.
Right. You know, before we started filming here, you mentioned something to me that I thought was great, and I know you didn't hear this, and I think everybody should hear it. Is we were talking about the noise, how loud the offices can be. She had a great suggestion that she talked about. If you could elaborate that on a little bit.
So employers right now are all so upset with how noisy it is because everybody's on Teams calls, like they're in their cubes, it's just noisy. So what we recommend to clients, it's called sound masking, and it's just little speaker systems in the ceiling. And so it's just but the rule of thumb is if someone's about 10 to 15 feet away from you, it's going to inhibit you hearing their whole conversation. So if he comes in talking about his weekend, if it's dead silent, I'm going to hear the whole thing, and then I'm not going to work. So it keeps people productive. It keeps them from being distracted and hearing noises
Just
through
like
the walls.
basic white noise.
Right.
It's just white noise.
Okay.
It's called sound masking. And so I bid that out for a law firm that was on 8 floors, and I saved them, $15,000 per floor because it's like cars. There's all these different levels of sound masking.
Yeah.
And the IT people want the sound masking that's like all digital and controlled by their computer. And I have sound masking in my office where you just turn it up with a knob and turn it down.
Yeah.
You don't need the deluxe package.
Yeah. Sure.
That sounds cool.
What are your priorities going forward? Before we jump into learning more about Melissa, let's close that out on, what are your priorities for this next year for your business?
So getting the word out that reimagining people's spaces is going to pay them back 50 times with retention and attraction, with employee engagement, with productivity. Because again, if I can get your productivity better with the noise, if I can help people be more excited and happy to be at work, we already know that over 75% of people are disengaged to be at work. It's the all-time high that we've ever seen. So at least if we can make the space a little better, I just want to bring up everybody's productivity. So we actually have a patent pending survey that I've been using for 7 years, and it's called our Workplace Productivity Analysis. And so we've given this survey out. And again, what do you need to be productive? And so everybody can put their results down. It's anonymous. And the thing is that when I show that to owners, they can't believe what they're hearing because nobody's asked these people these questions.
Yeah, right.
Does the noise bother you? Does this bother you? Are you sitting on an aisle and can you work? Because everybody's walking past and talking to you and leaning over the panel.
Yeah.
How can we make it productive? How can we make it engaging? How can we make people happy?
Yeah.
That is my
Yeah.
total goal this year is to get that word out.
Awesome.
Make the space harmonious.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of everyone wanting to be at home with their dog.
Yeah.
Come back to the office.
Right.
But enjoy it.
I don't want to be with my dog, but that's a whole nother story. We won't dive into it. Okay, let's learn a little bit more about you. First and foremost, if money were no object, what would you do every day?
I'd go surfing
Really?
Really?
every day.
I never would have guessed that.
Wow.
Every day. I'm a surfer.
Really?
So where did that start?
On Geist.
Okay.
Really?
So we have a boat that, are you familiar with wake surfing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
boat has a ballast and it tilts and it makes a wave.
Yes.
And so it's probably been 3 years now that we have been giving away surfing lessons to charities. So for instance, my son goes to Bishop Chatard. And so I donate this gift card and it says 3-hour tour on Geist and surfing lessons. People may not want to do it, but my husband drives the boat, I get in the back and we get them up. We get everybody up and they're surfing.
That's cool.
So cool. But I've probably been surfing for 8 years.
Really? Have you ever gone anywhere big to surf?
I've just surfed on water on lakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the Hawaii,
Yeah.
Paddle out,
Paddle
jump
out.
up.
Take a 20-foot wave on. Yeah.
It's like water skiing. You just get in the water, you put your feet up like you're water skiing and the boat pulls you up. And then once you're up, you take the rope and you throw it in the boat and then you just surf on that wave.
Yeah.
It is the funnest, most exhilarating. It's good exercise.
Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
Oh, it is. That is water skiing and like things like that. You don't realize if you don't do it a lot, and somebody like me might water ski once every 7 years, and then the next
you wake
day,
up the
yeah,
next
Your
day, you're
thighs are on fire.
I didn't know I
Yeah.
had those muscles.
right. I didn't even know I had muscles there.
Oh my God.
Clearly, I don't because they're super sore. So.
But water skiing, you're going 25 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Surfing, you're only going 10.
Okay, so yeah,
So I literally promise
Mhm.
every person, I'm like, you can't get hurt.
yeah,
If you fall, you fall in the water.
yeah.
It's
You're
no-
falling in water.
It's no
so,
big deal.
yeah.
But no, all of our 5 boys surf. My husband and I surf. If you don't like to surf, then we really don't want to see you in the summer.
Yeah.
All surfing all summer.
That's
That's the motto.
Early bird, night owl. What are you?
Totally night owl.
Are you?
Yeah.
I wasn't going to guess that.
Has it always been that
Yeah.
way?
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even when I first went to Purdue, I signed up for all my classes after lunch so I could stay out late.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then I got a roommate that had 8 a.m. classes.
Oh. Of course.
Did
right?
they wake you up?
You know, she and I had words because she was an only child and she would shower. She'd come in the room and she'd turn all the lights on, the TV on. I'd be laying there going, are you serious? There's a bathroom down the hall. And she's like, this is my room. I pay for it.
Right.
Yeah, I bet
I
you
was-
pay for it. Yeah.
I know. I
Yeah.
got a new roommate second
Yeah.
semester.
Yeah, I
Like,
bet.
let's be clear.
You're
I
right.
want late classes because I stay out late.
That's great. We don't have many night owls on here. I'm one myself.
Yep.
We certainly don't have a lot of them. You're pretty much a night owl too, I think. I mean,
Unfortunately.
you're a little bit. He
Yeah.
stays up late and gets up early.
Oh,
So,
are you
yeah.
one of those that gets like 3 hours of sleep?
He's a
Yeah, but I can only do it. When I was younger, I could do it for multiple weeks on end. I can't do that anymore.
I know. You
So
need
it catches
sleep.
up with me, and then all of a sudden I crash. So
you need sleep.
yeah, it's
so
important. I do feel better when I sleep.
we know that surfing energizes you, and being around people and meeting people
So
energizes.
here,
Go ahead.
What about wintertime? So there's no surfing. What other hobbies do you have
Skiing.
Okay.
We go
Okay.
skiing, snow skiing.
in Colorado or Utah, or where do you go?
Well,
Michigan.
actually, people would never think
Yeah.
of this, but we go in Arizona.
Oh,
Really?
So there's a mountain called Sunrise. It's like 11,000 feet.
Okay.
So
Oh, wow.
my husband's family lives in Arizona, so
Okay.
we have to go out there in the winter.
Is it northern Arizona, like
It's-
Flagstaff area?
It's north. Yeah,
Okay.
north.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go to Michigan and we go to Perfect North and we go wherever.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, what drains you?
Let me think.
Doesn't sound like much.
Not a lot.
Yeah, that's good. That's
I'm
good.
pretty high energy,
Yeah.
like all the time. I told you my employees won't let me drink caffeine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So how do you wind down
Yeah.
in the evening to get ready to go to sleep then? If
You
you're
know
always
what?
wired.
I would say how I wind down is movies.
Okay.
Movies make me happy.
Perfect segue in. We love talking movies, TV, music.
Movies.
What's your favorite all-time movie?
All time. Well, we just got done watching Suits,
Suits. Okay.
Oh, the
Netflix-
series. Yeah,
on
that's a really good
Netflix.
yeah.
series.
Uh-huh.
and we could probably watch the whole thing again.
Yeah.
because we just love that. And then on the flip side, we loved Ozarks.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's
yeah, it's
just,
great.
You
Yeah.
know, those are like two totally
Completely
different
different
movies.
shows.
I
Yeah.
know,
watched them. Yeah, watch
but
them
we
both.
love
Yeah.
both of them. We
Uh-huh.
both love Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Did you watch Game of Thrones?
I have never seen that.
You would like that.
Okay, Game
Yeah.
of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
So-
one too.
If you like Ozark and Breaking Bad, for sure you're gonna like Game of Thrones.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
How about music? Are you a music person?
Music, I'm all over the board. My husband surprised me with Luke Bryant tickets, and
Okay.
we just recently have become kind of like more country fans.
Uh-huh.
Whereas, like in high school, I was more heavy metal. I
Okay.
was like AC/DC and Bon Jovi, and
Yeah.
and so I think
Uh-huh.
you're getting older.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just went to see Kiss over the weekend. Yeah. It was an experience. It was a show. It was pure entertainment.
Now, was it KIST?
No.
Because there's a tribute band called Kiss.
No, this is a real thing. Paul Stanley.
Oh, the real.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Gene
man.
This is their
Simmons.
final tour. Well,
It's
supposedly. Kiss has
Well,
done this a few
so
times.
I
though.
looked up before we went, and I was trying to figure out, okay, are they going to
Uh-huh.
have the show? Because the night before Paul Stanley had the flu,
Uh.
they canceled their Nashville show or Knoxville, wherever they were
Uh-huh.
playing. And so I hop online and I start doing research, and I come across the Wikipedia page. So this is called the End of the Road Tour.
Okay.
Well, the End of the Road tour started in 2019, so they're 4
oh,
years.
they're not stopping.
They're 4 years on the end of this tour.
Oh, but you know what? So Kissed is a tribute band,
Uh-huh.
and I just have to tell you this: he's not doing it anymore. But this guy cut my hair. This is so wacky. And after I got to know him, and he cut my hair for like maybe 2 or 3 years, it was in Broad Ripple. And I mean, I think I was just a walk-in. Like, I'm just going to try this place, whatever. So anyway, this guy's cutting my hair. And then I find out that he's in a Kissed tribute band. And I'm like, it makes perfect sense because he had hair all the way down his back. And he was the coolest dude. And he literally was the guy, you know, with the big star. And he'd have white paint all over his face and wear these high heel boots.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Paul Stanley. Isn't he the star?
Yeah.
The star
Yeah.
Gene Simmons is the demon. Paul Stanley.
And then Peter Criss, or now Eric Singer, are the cat, right, in the background.
But I probably went and watched his concerts.
What was Ace Frehley? Do you remember?
No, and true Kiss fans are going to be so angry when they watch this and be like, he was the star man.
Well, okay, all right.
Messed them up. I just know Gene Simmons for sure was the demon.
Yeah.
He was the one that,
well, he did spit blood on Saturday night.
Okay. Well, he still got it.
Yeah.
It's probably real now.
The guy,
it was pretty
cutting my
intense, to be
hair,
honest
he
with
goes, you can't tell anybody that I cut hair during the day.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I won't. I promise.
But I like had this little secret.
Yeah, that's great. Anything you're currently watching right now?
Okay, we're watching right now. It's called 100 and it's on Netflix.
What is that?
So crazy.
I've seen
crazy.
like the title.
I haven't seen it.
The whole
100
world has been nuked. And they sent all these people to outer space to live on this space station. Well, they said they had to wait 100 years before they could send people down because the radiation was gone.
Okay.
So they sent 100 people down, and then I can't tell you anymore.
Okay.
Because
Look at that.
it'll ruin it.
It's state secret.
But it's my husband and I have been watching it every night because we can't turn it off.
Yeah.
Is it a series?
Yeah. So there's multiple.
Okay.
Yeah. But the point is that they get to Earth and
something is
you just gotta yeah, it's crazy. Like it's a crazy movie.
I have to check it out.
Yeah. Sports? Yeah, sports fan? No. I appreciate the honesty. I like the Colts. Yeah.
I went to the Colts game on Sunday. It was great.
Yeah. Just more of an experience.
Do I need to watch it every Sunday? No.
Sure. I get it.
I literally have way too many things I'd rather be doing.
Well, you know what's funny? As a true sports nut like myself, I'd rather watch it on TV than I would go to the game.
Really?
Yes, because going to the game's more of an experience.
Yeah.
But watching sports on TV is totally different now because there's, you get the replays, you get the, the zoomed in angles of everything. It's such a great experience at home now with, 75-inch, 80-inch TVs. I mean, the viewing experience at home.
I don't have to wait 20 minutes to get, popcorn or go to the bathroom.
Right there. I can pause the game if I want to. So
but we sat right in front of the Eagle.
Oh, okay.
So did you know that they had an eagle fly on Sunday all around the whole stadium?
Did they do that?
And then it came and it landed on this girl's arm, and she was like 15 feet in front of us, and we have a video of this eagle landing on her arm. We were right in front of the eagle.
I've seen them do that once. I don't know if it's like they do it every time, or I've just missed it other times, or whether it was a special thing.
Unbelievable. That eagle's wingspan had to have been 6 feet.
Yeah, and just kind of soars around.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it comes and lands on this girl's arm.
That's really cool.
Like, what's happening?
Oh, how cool. Is it time for my favorite segment here?
You got to.
Yes. Okay. So
you got itchy finger.
I do. So what we've got here.
That's your favorite part.
So what we're going to do
turn around.
Okay,
you can turn around here. Oops. Share. Which one do I go to here?
Share screen.
Yes. That's what I was thinking here. So share screen. Okay. So we have some random topics now.
Okay.
So you're going to see these random topics. We don't know where it's going to land.
Okay.
And wherever it lands is what we will discuss. Unless it's something we already talked about.
Oh my God. This is hilarious.
So. All right.
What's it going to hit? Can you guess it?
I'm leaning towards vacation. That's why I didn't
I
ask
think
her.
UFOs.
I
And
didn't ask her
aliens.
about a vacation because I thought that's where it was going to land. Look at that.
Look at this. No, it's
Oh.
going to UFOs. That's what
Oh,
I
no.
know. Got
Okay, you got it.
it.
That was impressive.
What am I supposed to say?
So,
What do you think about UFOs?
or aliens?
Yeah.
Do they exist? Do they not exist?
Are you unsure or?
You know what? I think they totally do. Because that Area 51, that has to be true.
Well, skeptics might argue, well, it's secret governmental research that's just advanced technology that we haven't, we're not. You're shaking your head. Me too.
I think it's totally true.
Me too.
But see, I grew up watching E.T.
Oh,
Right.
There you go.
And as a kid, I was like, it's real.
Yes, maybe one of the greatest movies of all time.
It was
E.T.
the
That's
best.
yeah, it's one of my favorites. I cried actually at the end of that. I'll be
Absolutely.
honest. I cried. I'm not too big deal.
Absolutely.
I own that.
Who didn't cry? That's a better question.
Yeah, right.
Who didn't cry?
If you
at
didn't
ET?
cry at the end, ET, you got problems.
Right.
No.
But I was just upset. My mom had to reassure me, like that. Those, it's good for him.
He wants to go home.
He's
It's okay.
going home to his family.
Right.
Okay, I guess.
That is the funniest question to ask on a podcast. I have to say, that's hilarious.
Yes, they are. They're all random. That's what I love about
But
it.
the thing is that you have people with really, really strong beliefs.
Yeah.
They are not real.
Oh, I love to hear those too.
You know what I mean?
That's
Like,
okay.
yeah.
So
if that's what they believe, that's fine.
I just think they totally are.
Yeah.
I think they're way smarter than us.
Yeah, right.
So they're
Yeah.
not going to be caught or found.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Bigfoot, on the other hand, I'm not so sure about Bigfoot. I don't know. I feel like we would have saw one by now, like an actual remains of one or something. I know there's that's probably the Bigfoot people are going to be mad at us now too. So
That is hilarious.
I don't think I've ever paid enough attention to form an opinion on the Bigfoot or
yeah,
what's the other name they have for him?
Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
oh, there's
Yeah.
a bunch of names too. I don't know the rest
They call
of
him
them.
something different in Florida, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. They got a different name for
Oh
him.
my gosh.
So, okay, great. Well, you know what, Melissa, thank you so much for joining us here. This has been great. We're definitely going to have you back on. If you'd like to join us again, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe get you and your sister here at the same time.
Oh, that would be fun.
We'll dive into all kinds of fun.
We have to do
topics
that
like
on a Friday so we can drink.
That's right. Yeah, that's it.
That would be fun.
Yeah, Friday podcasts are a little bit different than Wednesdays, but I didn't warn you about that before you signed up, though. So.
Oh, okay. Well, you should have just poked me to pick a Friday.
I know.
That's right. Next time.
Right.
I know.
Next time.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Appreciate it so much, and I can't wait to come by and see your space.
Yeah.
I wanna
How
see
fun
it.
are
Yeah.
you guys?
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you so
So
much.
tell us where your space is.
So I'm in a building at 7222 North Shadeland.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's just a building that has two architects in it. So I have them stamp our drawings. And so I strategically moved into that building so I could work with an architecture firm above me and one across the hall. And we do design for them and they do architecture for us.
That's
perfect.
cool.
That's
Yeah.
perfect. So where can people find you online? We will add the links in the
Yeah.
description there, but if you want to tell us where people can find your website.
So relocationstrategies.com.
Mhm.
And then Melissa St. John, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm a fanatical poster on LinkedIn. And we have Relocation Strategies Instagram. We have Relocation Strategies Facebook.
Awesome. So everywhere.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks again.
Thank you for having me on. It
Yeah.
was fun.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
coming on. We
Yeah, I know.
appreciate
This
it.
has been the best part of my day.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good.
Ours too.
Yeah.